Your voices, your stories, helping you get your day started. 7 News Detroit This Morning at 6 starts now.
The Gordie Howe International Bridge linking Detroit and Canada. It's a move that's drawing a lot of criticism this morning. We're hearing from the Detroit Regional Chamber about the sudden announcement. Plus,
in center court, Isaiah Stewart coming in against Miles Bridges. Punches being thrown.
A scuffle at Spectrum Center. It is the talk of the NBA this morning and much of Metro Detroit. 4 players tossed after a brawl during the Pistons-Hornets game. What head coach J.B. Bickerstaff's now saying about the fight.
And we're finally out of the deep freeze, and we'll feature temperatures pushing 40 degrees. How long this warmer weather will stick around. Could you hear the air quotes in that?
I did, actually.
Warmer.
You know.
It is above average, so I think we can use warmer. Milder might be better, but the fact that we're not in the deep freeze is so good.
Right, you know, it doesn't hurt when you walk right out the door, right? Good morning, everybody. Thank you for waking up with us. We do appreciate it here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Alicia Smith.
And I'm Keenan Smith. Well, we are talking about the warmer weather, so let's get right to the man with a milder forecast. 7 First Alert meteorologist Mike Taylor.
It's about time. The approval rating is going up now. Happy to say, yeah, we're going to get these temperatures not only above freezing, but into the 40s. And for the first time in weeks, nearly a month since we've had numbers like this. It's still a traditional cold start, though. 25, that's for Detroit, 27 in Howell, and 23 in Ann Arbor. If you look closely at the radar, you'll see it is picking up some wintry mischief here. This is mainly well north of Detroit, closer to Bad Axe, and is actually approaching Lake Huron right now. This is just showing some low-level moisture that could freeze on contact there. That's talking about freezing drizzle, some freezing rain, or some sleet. A lot of this is not reaching the surface based on the ground truth, but we'll watch that. There is a chance for some of that north of the city. Aside from that, though, we're warming up. We're expecting these temperatures to climb not only from the 20s, but into the 30s for your work and school forecast. So the kids at the bus stop look pretty good. Even though it is a cold start, we will bounce back with those numbers back to the 40s. So it's a warming trend getting started.
Here in green, I don't even think that's really going to slow you down too much today. Shaded here in yellow, construction. We have Novi Road closing down at 14 Mile. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the show, but I do want you to be prepared for that as well. Also, conditions shaded here in yellow. Still cold this morning where your ramps, your bridges, your overpasses could be icy. A live look now at our roads. This is I-275 and 8 Mile, close to the Trinity Sports Dome. Everything moving along smoothly here. We do have some work happening on the 696-75 ramp. I'll detail that out for you coming up in my next traffic hit.
All right, thank you so much, Allie. Well, the Gordie Howe International Bridge could face a political roadblock, stalling the most anticipated border crossing project in Detroit history.
President Donald Trump is threatening to block the bridge's opening. The president posted a lengthy message, this one right here, to Truth Social hours after it was announced that the bridge is nearing completion. This was just yesterday. The president says that he will not allow the bridge to open until the U.S. is, quote, fully compensated for what it has given to Canada.
Now, construction of the Gordie Howe Bridge began back on October 5th, 2018, and has faced a number of delays. The structure that will become one of the longest cable-stayed bridges in North America was expected to open this year. Now, the addition would have a major economic impact on families across Metro Detroit and, of course, in Canada.
And 7 News Detroit reporter Brittany Tulis is joining us live from Southwest Detroit near the bridge with the growing response to the president's threat on social media yesterday. Brittany.
Alicia, Keenan, you can just tell by looking at it. Construction on this 2.5 mile long crossing is complete. The Gordie Howe Bridge is now in its testing and commissioning phase. The Detroit Regional Chamber is saying that once this bridge is open, it'll support economic growth here in the area and improve border security. But President Donald Trump saying in that Truth Social post he wants to stop this bridge from opening altogether, saying that this project takes advantage of America, that Canada didn't use any U.S. materials while building it, and also because of a potential Canada-China trade deal.
This is going to be a magnificent crossing. We are almost there after many, many years.
That's the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority's Grant Hilbers. The engineering VP gave our Carolyn Clifford an exclusive tour in November while construction of the 2.5 mile long crossing neared completion. The Gordie Howe International Bridge updating Monday. The construction's complete. Now they're testing systems ahead of the undisclosed opening date. Hours after that much-awaited update, President Donald Trump said on Truth Social he won't let it open, saying, quote, "I will not allow this bridge to open until the U.S. is compensated for everything we've given them, and also importantly, Canada treats the U.S. with fairness and respect." In this lengthy Truth Social post, the president takes issue with Canada owning both sides of the international bridge and not using U.S. materials like steel to build it, even though Canada bankrolled the $4.8 billion project, and per the 2012 terms agreement, Michigan does own half, while Canada maintains and operates it. Also in the post, the president criticizes a deal between Canada and China, saying it'll, quote, "eat Canada alive and we'll just get the leftovers," even saying ice hockey and the Stanley Cup are in jeopardy. In a response, U.S. Senator Alyssa Slotkin said the president's threat to, quote, "tank the international bridge is awful for Michigan's economy." Quote, "Canceling the project will have serious repercussions, higher costs for Michigan businesses, less secure supply chains, and ultimately fewer jobs." Adding the threat punished Michiganders for a trade war President Trump started. And Canada's only making a trade deal with China because Trump's policies have, quote, "kicked them in the teeth for a year." Daily, 14,000 trucks and commuters cross the Detroit-Windsor border, supporting more than 25 million U.S. jobs.
Almost 15,000 people have worked on the project in total, and then just over 40% are from the Windsor, Essex, or Detroit region.
And right now, there is still no set opening date for the Gordie Howe International Bridge, and it's also unclear how President Trump could stop this project from opening. Keenan, it's also worth noting that back in 2017, President Trump supported this whole project. That was during the first year of his first term. For now, live in Southwest Detroit, I'm Brittany Toulis for 7 News Detroit this morning.
All right. Thank you so much, Brittany.
Well, reactions to the president's threat to block the opening of the bridge are rolling in, and 7 News Detroit is reaching out to stakeholders for their take on the president's new stance. Glenn Stevens Jr., the executive director of Mish Auto at the Regional Chamber, is joining us now live this morning via Zoom. Glenn, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We do appreciate it.
Yes, good morning, Alicia. Thank you.
First of all, what is your reaction to President Trump's post threatening to block the bridge's opening?
Well, I can tell you that for the past year, we've had a lot of reactions to things, so we try not to overreact. But there's no question that this is one of the most consequential infrastructure projects we've ever seen. It's a bipartisan project. It's important to trade, to the flow of our people, and it's important to national security because there's a significant upgrade with this new bridge. So this is of concern to see this, but calmer heads will hopefully prevail.
President Trump had supported this project during his first term. How surprised are you by his flip-flop on this?
Well, we're not surprised by too much, and I guess we don't want to overreact, but at the same time, we are intertwined. We've been trading with the Canadian region for over 300 years, and in the industrial age, close to 100 years. Our economies are intertwined. We're hopeful that the USMCA agreement gets renegotiated in a stronger way because we are stronger together with Canada. So there is concern.
What are the repercussions if it is indeed blocked?
Well, I think the first thing, and I'll mention it again, is that this is a significant upgrade to national and border security. And to this administration, that issue is paramount. So it's really important that we bring this modern, high-tech bridge into play. That's number one. Number two, it's important to our commerce. So anything that halts that is really a threat to the way we do things and really a threat to national security. And, you know, we've had a lot of our workers. I've personally stayed in touch with Iron Workers Local 25 the last few years. They've been working on it. And this is something we're really hoping opens on time together.
Have your members of the chamber discussed basically contingency plans if political intervention is used to block the opening of this bridge?
Well, fortunately, we have crossings right now. We have the Blue Water Bridge in Port Huron-Sarnia. We have the Ambassador Bridge. We have the tunnel, and we have the rail underground transportation. But that's really been limiting us, and so we'll make do. But really, this is an important crossing that everybody's been pointing to the opening. We're actually very excited about it, together with our partners from Canada, and hopefully it will come to fruition and open. It's close to being open, as we know.
Glenn Stevens Jr., the executive director of the Detroit Regional Chamber's Mish Auto program, thank you so much for joining us this morning to give your reaction to this news.
Thank you.
Still ahead at 6:30, we do have a live report from Washington, D.C. with a look at what happened in recent weeks to increase tensions between the U.S. and Canada and how Canada is responding this morning.
Well, today, a judge will announce that 4 people charged with the death of a little boy killed in a hyperbaric chamber explosion will stand trial. The owner of the Oxford Center in Troy and 3 employees are facing charges ranging from involuntary manslaughter to second-degree murder in the death of Thomas Cooper. The 5-year-old was receiving treatment at the facility last year when the chamber he was in exploded. His mother was injured while trying to rescue him. Prosecutors allege the staff ignored critical safety protocols.
Well, now to a basketball brawl that has so many fans talking this morning. While the Pistons snapped the Hornets' win streak, the game was spoiled, really, by a bench-clearing brawl.
Take a look at this. Jalen Duren is clearly fouled by Charlotte's Moussa Diabate. Duren doesn't like it and faces up to Diabate, who leans in. Duren pushes his face back. Diabate takes exception and then takes a run at Duren. Charlotte's Miles Bridges isn't done. The former Spartan takes a swing at Duren. Then Isaiah Stewart comes in off the bench and charges Bridges. All 4 players were ejected. Here's Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff.
Our guys deal with a lot, right? But they're not the ones that initiated. They're not the ones that crossed the line tonight. It was clear, through frustration because of what JD was doing, that they crossed the line. And I hate that it got as ugly as it got. That's not something that you ever want to see. But if a guy throws a punch at you, you have a responsibility to protect yourself. And that's what happened tonight. You go back and watch the film. They're the ones that initiated crossing the line. And our guy had to defend himself.
Well, after all that, the Pistons went on to win 110-104.
I tell you what, you never want to see that, but at least they won, and
yes.
Hopefully they learned.
And it doesn't look like anyone was hurt, which is important.
Yeah, time now 6:11. Your morning cup of Joe, you know what? It's doing more than just helping you stay awake. It can actually help protect your brain from dementia.
Yeah, I'm going to let you know how much a new study says caffeine is associated with improved cognitive health in the long term. Plus,
with AI adding uncertainty, Gen Z is turning to skilled trades. I'm Maura Barrett with a look at why young people are choosing tool belts over textbooks.
You're watching 7 News Detroit, part of the Scripps News Group.
Time now is 6:14. As AI reshapes the workplace, a growing number of young people are turning to blue-collar and skilled trades positions as a faster, debt-free path to a career.
now this increase is giving Generation Z a new nickname, the Tool Belt Generation. This morning, Scripps News Group business and tech correspondent Maura Barrett explains why a growing number of workers are ditching the 4-year degree.
I wanted to work with my hands. I wanted to be more creative.
Erica Miguel left the tech world behind. She's now enrolled in free upholstery training, an industry short on skilled workers.
When I was working in tech, I felt like I was just a cog in the wheel.
Blue-collar work is not shunned. It's very well-paying, good jobs, good people.
Chris Anderson is with Rayburn Electric Cooperative, whose front line includes line workers, power plant operators, and field technicians. He says the economy and tech are pushing more young people to the company's apprenticeship program.
You're being paid while you're being trained. You're doing the work. You're getting an income.
Dubbed the Tool Belt Generation, more than half of Gen Z workers are seriously considering blue-collar or skilled trade work, according to career site Zeddy. And 65% of those workers said a college degree won't protect them from AI-related job loss.
Young people are looking at this and saying, hey, if I go to school for 4 years and I get out, where's AI going to be?
Matt DeBarra is co-founder of the Contractor Consultants, a construction hiring service. He says Gen Z's interest is welcome, with older generations retiring out.
They're the ones who have put in 15, 20 years plus in the trades, and they're the ones that pass down the knowledge.
Lisa Countryman-Quiroz is CEO of JVS, a San Francisco Bay Area nonprofit that trains job seekers.
Recent college grads today, on average, have about $37,000 in student debt, and for many, it's a lot higher than that.
She points out that choosing the trades early doesn't shut the door on a future education.
College can always be there for you. You may be better informed about what you really want to do after you've done some other kinds of work out in the world. That's a possibility.
You can wake up having put 3, 4, 5 years into a hands-on side of a trade and then say, you know what? I want to move into management, or I want to move into, estimating or sales.
For Miguel,
I also wanted to support myself in a way that I didn't know was possible before.
learning the ropes builds lifelong skills and independence.
The pandemic accelerated this shift. Data from the National Center for Education Statistics show that trade school enrollment grew about 5% from 2020 to 2023. During that same span, undergraduate enrollment fell nearly a full percent. Maura Barrett, Scripps News Group.
Thanks, Mara. Let's talk about where we go from here. The Day Planner Plus is showing a few things. The lighter layers, they'll be needed at the bus stop. Not so much for the morning. This is going to be felt, I believe, in the afternoon, where numbers will finally, for the first time in nearly a month, about 27 to 28 days to be specific, climbing back to the 40s. It's been a while since we've been above freezing to that degree, but it is cold out the door. So, of course, the kids will have to layer up, of course, but I believe lighter layers. They won't need those big old parkas this time around because temperatures will rebound. We'll even get a little bit of sunshine. The radar is active north of Detroit, still tracking some freezing rain potential, but a lot of us are we're dodging that threat as it continues to lift to the north. But snow could slow down the drive. This is going to be primarily for around this time tomorrow. I'll show you what I mean. We're going to race through your Tuesday, but then once we get into the overnight hours, these random snow showers could sneak into Metro Detroit. Temps will be near the freezing mark. These could ice up the roads and they'll be very isolated, or I'll say random. So just take it easy out there while you're getting to work and school for tomorrow morning, just because we could have some snow showers come through. Same thing on Wednesday afternoon and Thursday. We could also get a hit of those snow showers passing through. That's a northwesterly flow that comes in, and that's going to drop our temperatures down at night below the freezing mark. The bad news, look out for potholes. This goes for the drivers because we've been dealing with the deep freeze. That's been destroying the asphalt across all of Metro Detroit. But now we're going to do a number to the concrete, so it's going to be tough to get around. We're going back and forth with this freeze-thaw cycle here. Temperatures will drop into the freezing mark at night, but they'll warm above freezing briefly going into the afternoon. You do that back and forth multiple times, what you're going to see in the 7-day forecast, it goes without saying that's bad for the roads. So 43 today, drop down to 28, 33 on Wednesday, then drop down to 20. You kind of get the idea. Going back and forth would be bad. We'll get these 40s back in here, though, for the weekend, especially on Sunday, but I think that batch could bring a chance for rain. Allie?
So we do have one crash out there this morning. This is the entrance ramp westbound Eureka to northbound 275. You can see the flashing lights closing down the ramp off in the distance. Should be an easy enough one to get around, though. The eastbound ramp to northbound I-275 is still open in this area near the airport. I do want to get you to some construction that could slow you down. This is close to the Ambassador Bridge. So if we're taking eastbound I-96, trying to get to the ramp to northbound I-75, you only have one ramp lane open today. This is happening from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
All right, thank you so much, Allie. Well, if you need another reason to enjoy your morning coffee or tea, this may be it. I want to break down a major new study published in JAMA that finds that people who regularly drank caffeinated coffee or tea had a lower risk of dementia and slightly better cognitive function as they age. Harvard researchers tracking more than 130,000 adults for more than 40 years documented 11,000 cases of dementia. But participants who drank roughly 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day had about 18% lower risk of developing dementia compared to people who drank little or no coffee. And tea showed similar benefits, but here's the catch. Decaf did not have the same effect, suggesting caffeine may play an important protective role for the brain. Experts say moderation matters most. The biggest benefits we're seeing at just a few cups of coffee a day, not excessive intake.
All right, coffee clinks to that
Absolutely.
story, Keenan. Yeah.
Without a doubt. Cheers, yeah.
Time now, 6:21, a heated exchange with President Trump.
Yeah, we're getting an update on the worker who heckled the president during a visit to an auto factory here in Metro Detroit last month.
Plus, the price of your Valentine's Day gift is rising, and many Metro Detroiters are chiming in on their plans to try to save money.
I really think the proof of a really strong relationship on Valentine's is just spending time together and doing activities together.
Why flour, candy, and going out might be more expensive this year. .624 is the time right now. You know,
Here at 7 News Detroit, we feel like one big family, and our family is growing.
And we'd like to show you the latest edition. 7 News Detroit reporter Kiara Hay had a baby girl. This is Kennedy. She was born February 1st, weighing in at 6 pounds, 8 ounces, but a ton of cuteness.
Oh my goodness, those bright eyes, so sweet. Both mom and baby are doing well, and baby Kennedy is being loved on by her 2 big brothers. You know they are excited. So we want to wish Kiara and her whole family the best. Congratulations. We can't wait to meet baby Kennedy in person.
Absolutely. What a real cutie. Time now is 6:25, and it's time to see what's coming up later on this morning on Good Morning America.
For that, we check in with Ginger Z, live from New York with a preview. Good morning, Ginger.
Hey, good morning, Keen and Alicia. It is wonderful to be with you. Coming up here, we are going to start with the desperation in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The new video from Savannah Guthrie as a key deadline passes and what the FBI is saying. Also, the latest on the Epstein files fallout as Jeffrey Epstein's convicted co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, pleads the 5th before lawmakers, while President Trump faces questions about what he knew and when. And Super Bowl champs Sam Darnold and MVP Kenneth Walker III celebrating at the happiest place on earth. And we are with them at Disneyland. Also, it's a Dancing with the Stars takeover. Some of your favorite pros and celebrities are here live with an exclusive announcement you don't want to miss on GMA.
Okay, we will be waiting for that. Ginger, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Our time now is 6:26. President Trump is threatening the opening of a bridge spanning between Detroit and Canada.
And that threat to block the opening is garnering a lot of response this morning. We have a live report from Washington, D.C. on why the president is going after the Gordie Howe International Bridge.
Plus, get ready for traffic closure that could disrupt your commute for weeks. We're hearing from the Great Lakes Water Authority about how long repairs to a massive water main will take.
Your voices, your stories, helping you get your day started. You're watching 7 News Detroit this morning.
Now at 6:30, it's a story people across Metro Detroit and people across the border are talking about this morning. President Trump threatening to block the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge. We have a live report from D.C. on why tensions are rising between the U.S. and Canada.
Plus, a traffic shift that could impact your drive for weeks to come. It's all to prevent a 42-inch water transmission main from breaking in the future.
It could be a little irritating, but everybody knows that, it's going to help with the water and the situation everybody has over here.
This is going to be an issue for people living in that area for quite a while. The detours you need to know and what the Great Lakes Water Authority is saying about the repair timelines.
And whether you're buying a Valentine's Day gift for your partner, your child, or your pet, you can expect to shell out some big bucks.
In about 3.5 years, the price of our chocolate has nearly doubled.
We are making probably a little bit less profit on them than we did last year.
We're hearing how Metro Detroiters are planning to combat high prices this year.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for waking up with 7 News Detroit this morning. I'm Keenan Smith.
And I'm Alicia Smith. And, for some folks, it's going to feel a bit like a heat wave coming up shortly.
That's right. Temperatures are making a run for 40 degrees. And in some communities, 7 First Alert meteorologist Mike Taylor says we are going to beat it.
Yeah, I think we can. So just keep that in mind. When I show you what to wear for today, mainly this morning, you're going to have to layer up, of course, because we have temperatures in the 20s, but some of these jackets might be unzipped a little bit just because numbers are going into the 40s, and it looks like it's going to be the case for everybody in Metro Detroit. Let's show you what we mean. Look at this map. This is your 24-hour temperature change. In other words, this time yesterday, we were about 20 degrees cooler. So it shows that we're warming up 32 degrees warmer right now than where we were yesterday. And what these numbers look like, ironically, they're still cold. I mean, 25 in Detroit. It lets you know how cold it was just yesterday morning. Winds are from the south at 8 miles per hour. We will continue to see these temperatures bouncing back here. We're at 28 in Port Huron, 25 in Detroit. Pontiac is also at 25, and that goes up near Port Sanilac as well. So your bus stop forecast looks pretty good in the sense that temperatures will be warming up. We'll be closer to the 30s, 28 out the door, 29 by the time most kids are arriving at school. And then looking beyond that for recess and the ride home, still pretty good, and we warm up. We'll go into the 30s, and I think a lot of areas of Metro Detroit could touch the mid to low 40s for today. It is temporary, though. Once we get later into the week, we're talking about 30s making a comeback, tracking some snow And we're also looking ahead to more 40s. We'll let you know when those get here. Coming up. Allie?
A little bit of a relief on the ramp from westbound Eureka to northbound 275. At one point, this ramp was closed. It looks like the crash itself still there, but off to the shoulder now. So traffic is still getting onto northbound 275 from Eureka, a little bit closer to the airport. So taking a look at stop, slow, go. Crashes I have shaded here in yellow. No major crashes slowing us down. Just that one minor slowdown I just mentioned. Conditions I have shaded here in yellow. We could still see some icy spots, so keep that in mind. Construction I have shaded in yellow as well. Today, both northbound, southbound Novi Road at 14 Mile will be closing down. Now, northbound, you will not be able to make it to 14 Mile. Southbound, you will still have the option to go westbound on 14 Mile Road. This is happening for the next 3 to 4 weeks. M5 is to the east. You can use that instead. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we have Christiana Ford going over why this road closure needs to happen.
All right, thank you so much, Allie. Well, now to our top story this morning, and something that so many Metro Detroiters are paying very close attention to. President Trump is threatening to block the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge until the U.S. is, to use the president's words, fully compensated for what it's given to Canada. Scripps News Group political correspondent Joe St. George joins us live from Washington, D.C. And Joe, what has happened in recent weeks to increase tensions between the U.S. and Canada again?
It's really not just weeks, but the last year and a half, right? There's been very much low points between the U.S. and Canada during President Trump's second term. There's been improved points, but within recent weeks, the relationship has soured again. Remember, early on, the president's second term, or early last year, the president was calling on Canada to become the 51st state. I mean, that created major diplomatic blowback. We had the major battle over tariffs and the like. In recent weeks, the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, has traveled to China. There looks to be a potential deal in the works with trade with China. That has angered and frustrated the Trump White House. And in Switzerland, just a few weeks ago, the Prime Minister of Canada gave a speech in which he didn't directly mention Trump, but everyone in the room knew what he was saying, and it was words and language that the president didn't particularly like, and that is an understatement here. So now we enter the latest phase in U.S.-Canadian tensions, and it's all over the Gordie Howe Bridge. You guys know this. This is a project that's been talked about. I mean, a quarter of a century. You go back to the early 2000s, people really aspired for this project. The president saying on Truth Social late last night, quote, "I will not allow this bridge to open until the United States is fully compensated for everything we have given them being Canada. And also importantly, Canada treats the United States with the fairness and respect that we deserve." The president also said, as everyone knows, the country of Canada has treated the United States very unfairly for decades. As far as officials across the lake in Windsor, how they are responding to all of this, crucially, we're still waiting for the Prime Minister of Canada to respond, but local officials in Windsor believe the president has been given some misinformation, that he's presenting misinformation about how the project has been built. I'm just going to quote the mayor of Windsor here saying to a local radio station, quote, "It's the type of project that you would have a Prime Minister and President meet in the middle and shake hands in normal times, but President Trump, has chosen a different approach." So this is a story that's now much bigger than just Detroit, Windsor. This is a full-on international tense moment between the U.S. and Canada. Again, we'll see if the U.S. and Canada can bring down the tensions, bring down the temperature, if you will. But right now, it's piping hot on this Tuesday morning.
Absolutely. And Michigan families, Michigan businesses caught in the middle because this is a major economic driver. Yeah. Joe St. George, live in D.C. for us. Thank you, Joe.
Turning now to a major traffic alert. A big repair project is going to be impacting drivers in both Novi and Walled Lake for weeks to come. Crews will be shutting down Novi Road at 14 Mile to support the replacement and renewal of the 42-inch water main that failed in that area back in September. That closure is expected to last for weeks, while the project is expected to stretch on until June. We want you to be prepared. Your Novi reporter, Christiana Ford, is joining us live this morning with more on this, breaking down the project and how Metro Detroit drivers are feeling about this traffic headache. Christiana.
Yeah, Alicia, people who live in this area aren't thrilled to be inconvenienced, to say the least, but the area we are talking about is right here, this intersection at Novi Road and 14 Mile. Right now, you can see cars there. They're driving through, but pretty soon they won't be able to at all. And this is all impacting people who live in the Walled Lake, Commerce, and Novi area. They'll need patience in the near future. Eastbound 14 Mile is already closed. Now north and southbound Novi Road is set to close today. This is all to start completing that work on replacing and renewing segments of the 42-inch water transmission main that broke last year, something that needed to be done. Still, people in the area tell me the changes are coming with a little frustration as they adjust.
I'm very regimented. I like to do things one way, and I had to figure things out, and it's very chaotic to me.
But as we make the repairs to our transmission main here, we know that these impacts do take place, and we appreciate everyone's patience as we work through this.
The Great Lakes Water Authority tells me they are about a third of the way through this project, replacing that main. You can see the pipe behind me. It's very massive, and this is a large process and a lot of work that they have to do, but they tell me this closure will impact drivers for about 3 to 4 weeks. For now, we're live in Novi. Christiana Ford, 7 News Detroit this morning.
The work has to be done. We remember that mess back in September, so people understand it, but yeah, it will be impacting their commute. Christiana, thank you for the live update. By the way, Christiana is your Novi reporter. If you have a story for her, you can scan the QR code. We're going to show you here in just a moment, and it's going to be on your screen. There we go. You can also send her an email to christiana.ford@wxyz.com.
Well, now to an update on the Ford employee involved in last month's heated exchange with President Trump in Dearborn. He will keep his job. The UAW says TJ Sabala has no disciplinary record. Sabala is accused of heckling the president, who responded by holding up his middle finger and mouthing profanities at the worker. The confrontation at the Ford truck plant quickly went viral and was seen by millions around the world. In a video statement sent to 7 News Detroit, UAW Vice President Laura Dickerson says, in part, "We speak truth to power. We don't just protect our rights, we exercise them."
Dearborn leaders say that they have seen a major drop in crime. Mayor Abdullah Hammoud and Police Chief Issa Shaheen are expected to release the full crime report this afternoon. They say violent and serious crimes have decreased significantly for 2 straight years. We'll also be hearing about how the city is investing in public safety this year. One of those investments was already launched this month, a drone system that integrates city cameras with business security systems. Dearborn police say that it cuts response times to under 2.5 minutes.
All right, time now is 6:40. Former lawyer Alex Murdaugh is headed back to court.
What he's saying about his conviction in the deaths of his wife and son 3 years after his trial. Plus,
Valentine's Day is just around the corner, but things like chocolate and flowers may be more expensive this year, and I'm going to tell you why.
Thanks, Carly. And we're looking ahead to warmer weather moving in for the rest of today as we climb out of the 20s. But we're talking about some snow and some colder air moving in as well. We'll address that coming up.
A live look now at the morning drive. One minor slowdown out there. Westbound ramp Eureka to northbound 275. Something off in the shoulder. They're working to tow it away as we speak. No other crashes slowing you down.
Good morning, Detroit. From the
Time now is 6:43 as we take a look at today's top stories. Oral arguments in the appeal of Alex Murdaugh's double murder conviction are scheduled for this week. He is currently serving 2 life sentences for the 2021 murder of his wife and son. Murdaugh's defense plans to argue the 2023 double murder trial was tainted because a former clerk of the court tampered with the jury. Last year, former clerk of court Becky Hill pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice, perjury, and misconduct in office.
Well, California health leaders are now linking cases of measles to potential exposure at Disneyland. Affected travelers visited the park on January 22nd and another on January 28th. for the most recent data from the CDC released just days ago. In February, there have been 733 cases of cases of measles linked this year to outbreaks, including 30 cases of measles in Michigan.
Detroit officially launched RX Kids. It's a program that gives cash to expectant mothers. Families can enroll to receive $1,500 during pregnancy. After that, families can receive $500 a month for your baby's first 6 months. You can find more information about the program on WXYZ.com.
Well, Valentine's Day is this Saturday, and while love is in the air, some prices are in the stratosphere.
Yeah, from roses to candy, the cost of celebrating is rising, and if you haven't bought the gift for your loved one just yet, we do want to help you prepare for the price tag.
7 News Detroit reporter Carly Petras is showing us how couples and local businesses are already feeling the impact.
Local chocolate shops and flower shops are getting ready for Valentine's Day. I'm here inside Tiffany Florist in Birmingham, and as you can see, I'm surrounded by flowers. The team is working hard here, putting together some pre-ordered arrangements like the one I have here, but things may be a little bit more expensive this year, and I'm going to tell you why.
Between all the chocolate and flowers, there's no denying Valentine's Day has a real impact on our wallets. And if it feels like celebrating the day of love is costing more than ever, you're not imagining it.
We would usually just go out to dinner.
In previous years, we have splurged.
According to Consumer Price Index data, Valentine's Day related costs are up about 30% since 2021. And consumers I spoke with say that's why they're changing up their plans for this year.
We don't want to spend a lot of money at this time.
Ren Phillips tells me she and her partner are going to keep it more low-key.
We're not doing any presents this year. It's really just stay home and just cook together, maybe bake something.
As for Philip Bunker, he says he and his partner are having to get more creative.
A handwritten card, instead of one purchase from the store, and maybe, some handmade gifts.
And local businesses in Metro Detroit are feeling the price hikes too.
In about 3.5 years, the price of our chocolate has nearly doubled.
Including David Agloza, owner of Quick's Chocolate in Ferndale.
We had some shortages in the cocoa market about over a year ago, and that definitely has worked its way through to me and then obviously the end user.
And it sounds like it's not just you, right? It's kind of all chocolatiers. Is that what it's called?
It definitely is.
As for flowers, new owner of longtime flower shop in Birmingham, Tiffany Florist, Michael Fraley, says we're now seeing the impact of tariffs.
We've seen a pretty high increase in flowers coming from Europe.
And although flowers cost more, Fraley says he's not passing that cost down to his customers.
Right now, it's about $8 a rose. Now, last year, was it the same price?
Yes, we did $8 a stem then. Something like red roses on Valentine's Day, you have to have. And so we are making probably a little bit less profit on them than we did last year.
But even with higher prices, couples say love isn't about what's in the box or the bouquet.
I really think the proof of a really strong relationship on Valentine's is just spending time together and doing activities together and sharing experiences rather than sharing items, if that makes sense.
Carly Petras, 7 News, Detroit.
That does make sense. We thank Carly for that report. So, how much are people expected to spend on their loved ones this Valentine's Day? I've been reading over the new survey released by the National Retail Federation and Proper Insights and Analytics, and spending is expected to reach more than $29 billion, a new record. The average shopper is dropping nearly $200 on gifts for romantic partners, family members, children's classmates, teachers, coworkers, and of course pets. Candy remains the most popular Valentine's Day gift, followed by flowers, cards, a night out, and jewelry. Of course, jewelry is the most expensive, followed by a night out and also clothing. Other things people spend money on.
It all adds up. All right. Time now is 6:48, and let's get a sense of what we can expect weather-wise. Why do they put Valentine's Day in February?
You gotta warm everybody's hearts with this cold weather.
Imagine how great it would be if Valentine's Day was like during the summer, where you could be out, or spring at least.
I got thoughts as to why it was be put in February. But it's got to be something to do with the cold. Something to do with the cold, that's for sure. And we'll see temperatures that are going to be in the 20s, but we will try to warm up going into the 40s. And it's going to take a while. Numbers are down to around 21 in Adrian. We're watching this system to the north and northeast. You'll see the radar giving some returns, showing that there is something out there. It's mainly along the thumb here, but I'm going to say along and north of M59, there's a brief window of opportunity to encounter some freezing drizzle or some light rain that could freeze. But so far, the reports have been okay as far as any of that reaching the surface. But the chance is there. Eventually, we'll get these numbers above freezing. I'm thinking at some point between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., we'll cross above 32, and we won't stop there. I think a lot of us have a chance to reach the low 40s. Some of us could do even better, reaching the mid 40s for today. Here's a snapshot of your high temps. Once we no longer have to worry about that brief window for freezing rain along and north of M59, it's all about the warm-up. We'll see these temperatures climbing to around 45 in Monroe, 43 in Windsor, and 42 in Lapeer. So the kids at the bus stop, they may need a jacket, heavy coat first thing in the morning, but those layers are not going to be as necessary as numbers get a little bit better from those 20s. Tomorrow's a different story. There's a system that comes through. The same one that's warming us up will eventually swing a cold front in here. We'll feel the difference as the winds shift out of the northwest, taking us back to the 30s, even a chance of seeing some snow showers as well. And let's talk about the chances for snow. Far from a situation where we're going to see accumulating snow to the point where you need a shovel. But what I will add, it could be just enough that it could ice up the roads in spots. Wednesday and Thursday have a chance for seeing these spotty snow showers. I'm highlighting Wednesday because this chance actually moves in overnight into the morning, which means we could have some random slick spots is what I'll call it. We'll dip down to 30 degrees by Thursday. Then we slowly start to climb once again. In fact, by Sunday, we're back near 40 degrees. So we continue this warming trend. But the bad news is that we'll have a freeze-thaw cycle going back and forth. That's going to do a number on the roads, so look out for those potholes.
All right, Mike, thank you. Keeping an eye on a crash at Eureka and I-275. So this is the westbound Eureka ramp to northbound 275. In the process of clearing this out of the way, off to the shoulder now. The ramp itself is open, so that's some good news. No other crashes slowing us down on our freeways. Just be aware of this near the airport. We do have some work taking place in downtown Detroit, kicking off today. Eastbound Michigan Avenue, right at 1st Street near Cass. Only one lane open. This starts this morning at 9 a.m. and will last until Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
All right, thank you so much, Allie. Well, 7 News Detroit is bringing our Let's Talk series to Macomb County, and we want to hear from you.
Yeah, please join us at the Engine House in Mount Clemens tomorrow night, February 11th. It'll start at 4:30 and run until 6:30. Your ideas and your voice can really help shape the future of our community.
And tomorrow morning on 7 News Detroit at 6, we're going to show you how the Engine House is continuing a lasting legacy. It's a story you won't want to miss. You're watching 7 News Detroit this morning.
.655 is the time now as we take a look at what to watch this Tuesday morning. President Trump is threatening to block the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge unless the U.S. is, quote, fully compensated, end quote, for what it has given to Canada. Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan says the political roadblock would have serious repercussions, including higher costs for Michigan businesses and fewer jobs.
Novi Road at 14 Mile will shut down today so crews can replace a 42-inch water main, a part of which failed back in September. The project will impact drivers in Novi and Walled Lake and is expected to last until at least June.
Today, a judge will announce if 4 people charged with the death of Thomas Cooper will stand trial. The 5-year-old died last year when the hyperbaric chamber he was in at the Oxford Center in Troy exploded. Prosecutors allege the staff ignored critical safety protocols.
Detroit Pistons big man Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, along with Charlotte Hornets Musa Abate and Miles Bridges, were all ejected from last night's game following a massive brawl. After the chaos cleared, the Pistons went on to beat the Hornets 110-104.
And highs today will climb to about 43 degrees. After that, we go back to the 30s. That's where we'll be for much of the week, but we go back and forth with this freeze-thaw cycle. So take it easy out there on the roads with those potholes. Watching Sunday for our next chance for seeing some rain.
Taking a live look now at Chopper 7 over 696 and I-94 in St. Clair Shores. You can see everything moving smoothly here at this interchange. Getting a word of a crash at Van Dyke Freeway and 23 Mile. Picking up slowdown in both directions there.
All right, thank you, Allie. Well, coming up tomorrow on 7 News Detroit this morning, are you trying to make your paycheck go further? Well, it turns out about 1 in 7 of us have cash or property waiting to be claimed.
We're going to walk you through the process to reclaim that property so you don't waste your money.
Yeah, Keenan, you said you owed me $5 last week and I never got that money.
Yeah, but
I'm just remembering just now.
The story is about waiting for it to be claimed, right? So yeah, so you'll just have to.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Good Morning America is next here on 7. We'll be on TV 20 Detroit.
And something tells me you're going to be waiting
a long
time. I guess so.
Hey, you don't have to wait for a warm-up. It arrives today. Enjoy it while you can.
People can put money in your tip jar for that.